Hello, class. My name is John Burrell, and for my Pecha Kucha, I did an analysis of the business executive and director, Peter Guber's approach to communicating with an audience. Guber's storytelling methodology is to succinctly deliver a message through a set of systematic truths. We can find correlations between this approach as business people and guiding our consumers to the virtue of goods and services. Through it, we can champion products that alleviate time constraint and personal production bottlenecks. However, it's also malleable enough to evoke emotion and forward thinking. However, effective storytelling isn't merely entertaining. While there must be a sense of personal style to captivate your audience, it shouldn't be a sense of aimless machinations and theatrics. Rather, the art of storytelling relies on four truths that relate to the following: the teller, the audience, the moment, and the mission. Each approach is different but require very real, conveyable truth to inspire investors economically to your cause. Speaking of which, ironically, the Pecha format is an extension of this message. I would like to relate to you as my viewer. It's a marriage of the 15 by 20 format of imagery and oral narrative delivered succinctly in a digestible format. Moreover, this storytelling vehicle is designed to streamline information with a sense of narrated intimacy of a conversation that's applicable to audiences of variable sizes. It's a platform for conveying my truth and connecting it to you as the viewer. That the essence of effective storytelling lies within these four particular truths. Please allow me to expound further. As a teller, effective storytelling is fueled by personal self-truths. Your authenticity of business expertise, personal experience, and willing financial investiture in your project fuels your narrative's relatability. By linking these three positions together, your tongue, feet, and wallet should all move in the same direction for integrity's sake. As such, good storytelling is driven by empathy and sympathy. The empathetical component is to view what you are selling from your audience's perspective, while the sympathetic perspective is wanting others to feel how you feel. This combination contains a sense of underlying intimacy, finesse, and technique. As a business manager, you are seeking to capture the heart of your audience through your personal narrative, while conveying the undeniable logic of your financial action and business analysis to their mind. As a leader, your second truth is to your audience. This truth is based in associative empathy to the wants and needs of your consumer. Additionally, there is an unspoken agreement made between the teller and the audience, and that's the patience and attentiveness that the audience exhibits in hearing your story will be rewarded with a worthwhile showing. This requires creating stories that people want to hear, and they aren't already believers in your vision. The relation requires a leader to be receptive to the inquiry and position of his consumers. You are leading your audience through your story, and that road should be suspenseful, easy to follow, and unpredictable in foresight. Once you have concluded your thoughts, it should be projectable upon reflection. It should feel logical and universal in a sense. As such, the teller must give up the ego that it is his or her story. To be fully relatable, the teller should present themselves as a conduit in which this universal message flows through, and that its merits are applicable to the lives of the audience. Their selfishness of I should turn into we as you and your audience are jointly experiencing your story, with your leading and providing the path to go on. In leading that path, Guber explains that the leader needs to be attentive and responsive to the actions of their audience. Guber details that an effective storyteller never tells a story the same way twice. This truth is relational. It should adjust to the setting given. For example, the way you engage an audience of 500 at a business leadership summit conference, a classroom of 30 in the Fogelman Executive Suite, and an audience of your three closest friends demands a different interaction for each, as you're responding to the cues relative to that moment. While the premise and content are unchanging, the way in which you deliver the message is fluid and ever-changing. To get to this comfort level with your messaging, it requires thoughtfulness in structuring your story. Guber stresses that for moments to be taken advantage of, they have to be tempered with consistency. Consistency in presentation allows for improvisation and retooling a message to fit a myriad of circumstances. Peter Guber uses the example of science fiction writer Gentry Lee, arguing the merits of alien abduction with a gathering of investors, including Harvard psychiatrist John Mack at a seminar. Mack and others gave fantastical accounts of their personal experiences with aliens. Gentry Lee, already having developed his storytelling method through multiple conversations, adapted to his surroundings and the narrative of the conversation. Gentry Lee chose to improvise with a more scientific approach. He conveyed that, despite the lack of any physical or substantial proof, can we really say that these abductions have happened? That truth delivered in a moment of inquiry was able to turn faith into questioning, and was a welcome truth that only comes from the insight of consistency and continuous research, and receptiveness to the moment that you are in. Great storytelling extends beyond the ego of its creator for a greater purpose. Mission-based truth statements can use nationalistic scales for their purpose. However, we can present our missions as more modest, such as increasing education for our schools. By having the goals that related to our personal and community invested interests, it allows us to speak with passion and emotion about our initiatives. It appeals to consumers' hearts and their minds. Sometimes that passion conflicts with the audience's truth. Guber states in cases like that a leader should stay steadfast towards their goals. It can be very tempting to pander to your audience, as you are emotionally investing in them to a degree with your call to arms style truth. But by adhering strictly to the truth, you can spend money wisely towards goals that will benefit your mission. Guber's ideals about the heart of storytelling help sum up this Pecha Kucha narrative pretty well. And it's that at the end of the day, words and ideas presented in a way that engages listeners' emotions are what carry stories. It is this oral tradition that lies in the center of our ability to motivate, sell, inspire, engage, and ultimately to lead.